I'm excited to introduce you all to Glen Grusmark. He is our general manager here at the Hanover Theatre and Conservatory for the Performing Arts, and he's been with us for a little over a year now, and I would love you all to hear what he has to say. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So many people may have met you if they've come into the building. You've been watching what we've been doing for a while, but a lot of people want to know, where did you come from? And tell us a little bit about yourself and what lucky circumstances brought us together.
Well, I have spent the vast majority of my professional career at Goodspeed Musicals in East Haddam, Connecticut, where I've been the production manager for a little over 20 years, 25 years actually, to be a little more precise. While that is a nonprofit theater, just like the Hanover Theatre, that's somewhat where some of the similarities end. It's a very different business model. The Goodspeed produces six musicals a year, 3 of them generally brand new, from scratch. And so the sets, the costumes, the cast rehearses, everything happens in that small little hamlet on the Connecticut River, and is produced in-house, unlike our model, which is largely presenting. So it's a bit of a change for me, and just learning the business model has been an ongoing experience. And how did it happen? I wasn't looking precisely to make any kind of a move, but I was reaching that point in my life where if I felt like if I was going to make a move, now would be a good time. And this opportunity sort of came up as a blip on the radar, and that blip got stronger and stronger and stronger until I found myself here in September of last year, of 2017.
We wooed you, basically, to Worcester.
Something like that. Let's go with that.
It was a full-court press. Well, a lot of people are familiar with Goodspeed Musicals, obviously. Great quality in that particular house. And it's interesting, too, because we love it here at the Hanover Theatre when we have our own productions of The Nutcracker, of course, and Troy's adaptation of A Christmas Carol. So it's interesting that you have a combination of those different types of, as you say, productions. What are some of the things that you've observed now that you've had time to get your feet wet and see how we work?
Well, as I say, it's been fantastic, and it's been a huge learning experience. Just the variety of programming, still, I don't think it's overstating to say it astounds me. I mean, when we say that there's something for everyone, it's not just lip service. There's everything from family programming to rock and roll to Broadway to dance, our own legit programming with the Christmas Carol. It is truly in the best of ways all over the map, and that has been really fantastic. And just walking the house and walking the lobby, it shows in the variety. The demographic of our audience is so varied, and all ages, all walks of life. It's really neat and fantastic to be a part of.
And you've also had the opportunity to witness the growth of our conservatory, which we're all very proud of here. You must see some impact of the conservatory on the theater and the theater on the conservatory as well. Do you want to comment on that at all?
Well, from my experience, the conservatory is really a unique piece to what has been done here. And when I came on board, if I'm not mistaken, we had just completed the first semester of the conservatory, and so it had just opened, and we were going into the first full year. And it by any measure has exceeded expectations. And I've had the opportunity to visit a lot of places around the country that have educational programs and schools and camps and conservatories, and this really what is going on here in Worcester at the Hanover is really unique and commendable in terms of the variety of offerings and the participation, even in what is now, Lisa, help me out. This is our second full year, right?
Third full year.
Third full year. So
yes.
It's remarkable.
It really is. And you know what, Glenn? The growth doesn't stop there, because you've also witnessed a lot of the development of the theater district and the theater district campaign and what's sprouting up and developing just in our own neighborhood. Have you seen a difference even in the short time you've been here, just walking out with our neighborhood, really?
I mean, just looking out the window, honestly, any of the windows here at the corner of Main and Federal. When I first visited, there was a pawn shop across the street, and pawn shops have their place. So this is not disparaging. They've absolutely got their place, but just the tone of the neighborhood is changing visibly, and it's palpable. And you mentioned the campaign, where again, I think that it's really a testament to the leadership here and the development department, and Nell and Lisa Yu, what has been done. I mean, it's just remarkable the amount of community support and that is rallied around this relatively young institution. It's just fantastic.
We are very fortunate. It's one of the things that I noticed right away working in, downtown Boston, Northampton. Nothing compares to Worcester as far as really wanting to band together and improve the quality of life and the experience of visiting this downtown area and the surrounding communities. I want to switch gears a little bit, because I think that you're also in a unique situation where you've been able to observe some of the things with fresh eyes that we might be able to do better in helping our patrons experience the Hanover Theatre when they come to shows. So do you want to talk a little bit about some of the exciting changes that are in store and perhaps a soft launch of our mobile ordering app?
Sure, and full disclosure, the staff around here knows that I like to say that I don't have an original thought in my head. Anything that I don't like to pretend that any of these things could be directly related to me. But yeah, in terms of observations and what we've done since I've been here, we have as a staff really rallied around this notion, this philosophy of patron-centric, where everything that we do, we try to look at through the lens of how will it affect our patrons, either positively or negatively. And obviously, we want to weigh towards the positive side. And so it's not just about what, as a patron, you see, what you experience here, whether it's a concert or a show or the quality thereof. Everyone knows that Disney's got fantastic attractions, but everyone knows also when you go to Disney, you get the customer service is really second to none. And so we are thinking about things in that way. And a good example of that is how we're looking at technology, not just so we're looking at the way we buy that our patrons buy tickets, that software not just as a way to buy tickets, but how can we better understand what our customers want and what they want to see and what they want to do. And you mentioned our online ordering app. So back to customer service. If you've been to a popular event here at the Hanover, you know that sometimes it can be a little long at some of our concession areas.
People get thirsty during intermission.
So we are embracing some technology that is called it's an app. It's a mobile app called Noble, where at a certain, I think it's a half hour, an hour before curtain, you are able to pre-order your app. Think Starbucks, think Dunkin', think what else, where you can pre-order and skip the line and go and pick up your drink, all prepaid. And that has been soft launched, and we're seeing some good success there. And it will also enable you to pre-order your drink and have it ready and waiting for you at intermission. So we're really excited about that.
Yes, and it seems like our customers are really appreciating that as well. So that's exciting. Another thing that's exciting, and I have to say, our listeners are truly getting a behind-the-scenes glimpse today, talking to you about how things are working. And I really want us to talk a little bit about some of the changes that people are going to see, especially in the fall when they go to buy tickets once they go on sale. Because we've been spending a lot of time, haven't we, Glenn, looking at the data of what seats are really in demand and how can we improve the experience for every audience member, regardless of whether there are 500 people in the building or 2,300 people in the building. Do you want to touch on that a little bit?
Sure. So I'll do my best. So we have been looking. So we've got 10 years of data, and instead of making assumptions about what we think people want, whether that be what we think are the I'm doing air quotes now, the best seats in the house. Are those really the best seats in the house, or is that what's perceived as the best seats in the house? And how do they sell, and when do they sell? So yeah, one of the more dramatic changes that we're making is beginning in the fall. The least expensive seats will no longer necessarily be at the back of the house. They will in fact be down in the orchestra near the stage. And the change doesn't stop there. We really took a look at what our demand has been, and what are the buying habits of our customers, so that we can try to serve everyone and make everyone feel like when they're at an event at the Hanover, they're at a really special event, and we're hoping that this will lead to, for instance, not having a few people up in the balcony looking down at a bunch of empty seats when they in fact could have already been down on the floor with everybody else, and that's a really ambitious goal, but it's one that we've embraced, and I think that we're gonna succeed and tackle head on.
Well, one of the things that I think is exciting is really looking at, we inside call them, the price level 4 seats, or, it doesn't matter how many price levels we have, but we want to make sure that coming to the Hanover Theatre is accessible for everybody, right? And we're very aware and conscious of different price points. And so looking at the data historically as far as how many seats that we sell within each one of those, call them price zones, making sure that we have the ability for people to buy into less expensive seats, but rewarding people who buy early instead of waiting until they get those last-minute deals on a variety of different sites that we probably will be phasing out. However, making sure that we have, say, those $50 or under $40 seats available for our Broadway series when we go on sale in the orchestra right away, rewarding people for going and buying those tickets when we go on sale, and then those seats that at other times might have gone unsold because they were at a higher price level. Now, if you really want a lower price level and you want to be in the orchestra, you act as a loyal customer and you receive them. And once they're gone, they're gone. And I think that that's going to be an adjustment for people, but I'm excited to be able to reward people for that loyalty and for being a part of our community so that they get those better seats at a better price.
I think that's right. And another way of putting it is we try to avoid using the word cheap, right? Because
right.
But starting next season, the cheap seats won't feel cheap. The cheap seats will feel like you're right down in there with everyone else. But as you say, and I will reiterate, that the trick there is that when we say the best act now to get the best seats at the best prices, that won't just be lip service, right? That will be the real deal. But if you act quickly, you can really get some great seats at great value. So we're excited about that offering for sure.
Right, and looking at the different shows across the board, across our whole season, and knowing that when we go on sale with the show, we're not opening the entire house all at once. We're putting the seats that are closest to the stage on sale first, and then as the demand builds, just like an airline, we open up more seating as we go along in the on sales. I also think that we're hoping this helps in, now this is a hot topic that I know you've had a lot of research that you've done lately, and it's always a concern, where people will perhaps say, oh, I can't wait to see A Christmas Carol. I'm going to use that because we have it every year. I can't wait to see A Christmas Carol at the Hanover Theatre. So they go to their computer or their phone and they Google A Christmas Carol at the Hanover Theatre. I'm just using this as an example. Oftentimes, some people call them scalpers, a polite word is reseller, will be advertising as if they're the Hanover Theatre tickets that are significantly more expensive than if people purchase them directly through thehanovertheatre.org, which is our website. We really want to do everything we can so that people are aware that they need to buy their tickets at the hanovertheatre.org, our official website, and also minimize the ability of people who, as a business, are buying up tickets and then reselling them at substantially more. It's shocking, actually, if you want to talk a little bit about that, what's going on in the industry, and it is mostly legal, right?
Well, it certainly varies by state, and you're right. We have been looking at this pretty hard and seeing what we can do. And for the most part, what we're learning is that the best thing we can do is launch an education campaign to really educate our patrons, our consumers, exactly what Lisa just said. And it's not just the Hanover, it's not just theater, it's any place that you want to be in terms of if you can buy a ticket. But we are trying to find ways to really get the message out that it's not, in some ways the best case is that you might end up paying a little bit more. The worst case is that the ticket won't even be valid, and you're going to be stuck. So it's true that the only way to guarantee that you're going to get the best seats and the best service and the best price at the Hanover Theatre, or candidly anywhere else, is to make sure that you purchase from the official, either the box office, call the box office, or go there in person, or make sure that you're at the official website of the hanovertheatre.org. Or again, I would extend that to it really in general practice, buyer beware of where you're purchasing your entertainment tickets from, because it's the Wild West out there in some ways.
It really is. I was going to repeat that, buyer beware, in that sometimes, and anybody who knows me knows about the Hanover Theatre. I think that goes without saying. So it always surprises me when some of my friends or other business associates will tell me that they went on our site and they were shocked to find out how, quote, expensive different shows are. And I always go, well, what do you mean? What are you talking about? And so some of these reseller sites are very slick, and they really do look like they could be the website that you think you're going to. So I'm just going to repeat what Glen said. Make sure that you are at the official ticketing sites whenever you're buying tickets for any place, whether it's the Hanover Theatre or, as Glen said, quite frankly, any venue where you're trying to purchase tickets. Well, we have covered a lot of ground today, Glen.
Well, good.
Was there anything else that you wanted to make sure that you communicated to our listeners?
Only that I guess to reiterate that I'm really thrilled to be here, and in the short time, I guess it's been about 18 months. Every month that goes by reinforces that this was a really just thrilled and honored to be here and be a part of this great organization, which any organization that deserves the moniker great is because of the people that make up that place. And so I'm thrilled to be a part of this team, and onward and upward.
Well, we're thrilled to have you as well, and definitely onward and upward.